Good morning, y'all. This is out of my normal time, but I have stuff going on today and I need to get this done because this is important to me and needs to be addressed. This is extremely dangerous. I came on late last night and talked about it briefly, but we're going to do a full review of this video today so we can understand what is actually factually being done once again in this missing child case. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. Dexter says, I hear the intro. It's time for treats, Mom. There you go, buddy. He's all set and ready to go. Do you need to go out and go potty, Bella? Do you need to go out? Hold on, you guys. Bella decided to get off the couch, so I got to let her out. We got to do this right quick, though. So we have a lot of whiskey. Whiskey's trying to take my feet up from under me this morning. She keeps messing everywhere I go. All right. We are going to go right into Silver's on the scene. And usually I save this for after hours because it's that ridiculous, but this is dangerous. This is nonsensical. This is something that everybody who says they correct misinformation or stand for the victims and the family, I hope, talk about. Truly, this guy isn't reviewed. I guess somebody said in my comments that Jay for Justice and Queen might have touched on this guy briefly before too. So I'm hopeful that more people review this because this needs to be put out there big time. And I'll be honest, my voice is I've talked a lot the last couple days, way more than I should have. So we will get through this. I'll sound like a frog and we'll carry on. Music City Mom, Peekaboo, Handmade with Love by Dawn, Catherine, I Used to Be Cool. Didn't we all one day back in the 80s when we were 8? I've never been cool and I'm okay with not being cool. Hey, Jennison Accounting, Roberta, Penny for your thoughts, Kathy, Clock the House, Lurker, it's good to see you. 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Every time I see her, I can't help but want to sing it. Hey, yep, Revival, Jolene, Chico's, Heather, Brett, Thor, Marcy, Whispers, Rainbow, JJ, Salty Sleuth, Miss Leah. I hope your weather's doing better, Miss Leah. Hey, Queen Bella. Yeah, it's a lot, Thor. I'm going to show the video. Hey, Raising Grace, Nashville Native Realtor, Brandon Barnes, Sweet Sativa, Diana, Carrie, Callie Dime, Sweet Sativa, Brandon Barn, Peekaboo, Cat Eye Sunglasses, Kelly Bird, Forever Army, May, Kalina, Miss Brittany, Floor, Tomboy Charm, Sunflower Girl, Donna, Misty Daisy, More Ignorance. You can't breathe out of your nose? Oh, I'm sorry. The sinuses clogging are terrible. All right. We're just going to get right into it. This falls under fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is to educate what not to do in a missing child's case. This is called absolutely dangerous. For a quick reminder of who this guy is, I've been reviewing him, I don't know, for like a month now. here and there, usually my later night streams. This guy is the one who has been stalking Chris Proudfoot's RV at Horn Lake RV. He has been driving by. He also did the drive from Hendersonville to Memphis. He took everybody on that. He just bought a shovel because he's going to go out and dig. He is also the one that recently hooked up with the psychic and drew us a map, and that's where the shovel came from. He's put out misinformation. He's got some interesting alignments, but I'm going to let you guys decide what you think. He is also the one, bloop, dropping off buddy. And he is a real life ARPer, in my opinion. All right, let's go.
Monday, August 5th. Hope everyone's doing fantastic and your week has started off great. Why are we here? 161 days ago, Sebastian Rogers went missing from
Revival. I'll do that right now. Thank you for reminding me.
His home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and he's still gone to this day. Argo, bring him home. Bring him home. Also want to throw this up. This is from a missing children's board in Walmart. What Walmart? Walmart in Cleveland, Tennessee. 18,302 children who have been put up on the Walmart boards have been recovered since January 1996. And that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing. And we want Sebastian to be one of those as well. So
that is amazing. Truly, okay. This I don't have a problem with right here, but it quickly turns per usual.
What was I doing in that Cleveland Walmart? As you can see, Sebastian is not on their board at this time. Cleveland, Tennessee Walmart is.
You will hear this guy referred to as sniffers on the scene, sniffers in the air, because he is also the one who was using his sniffer to act like he could sniff out decomp, things like that. Made a big, huge deal out of it. Yeah, that's this guy. This guy is a complete and utter. At first, it just seemed like he was LARPing. Yes, dangerous activity, following them around, stalking them, in my opinion. Again, all of that crossing the line. Everything he has done, in my opinion, has crossed the line. But this upped it like tenfold. And this guy has hit every box of what not to do to involve yourself in a missing child's case in the matter of like a month and a half. It's really wild.
Well aware of Sebastian now. So let me play this video for you. It'll give you a ton of information, and then we'll come back and discuss. Here we go.
Silver's on the scene. Where am I? I'm in Cleveland, Tennessee. That's right, Cleveland, Tennessee. Standing here at the Walmart.
So we are outside, so you're going to hear some background noise with my cicada. But this is him. This is Silver's on the scene. The whole Silver's on the scene, the big, huge, like production type dramatization of everything. Okay, it's fine. Bringing awareness to Sebastian would be one thing, but you are going to see a complete different switch here. And that's not what he does. He's not out searching. People continue to come at me. He's searching. He used to be LE. I don't care. This man is causing nothing but chaos and misinformation, and this is going to be a salacious rumor. So bear with us. He is at a Walmart in Cleveland, Tennessee, for those of you just coming in.
All right, let's take a look. Walmart, Cleveland, Tennessee. What am I doing here at the Walmart, Cleveland, Tennessee? Well, hopefully, I'm doing something really good. A tip came in, and I'm going to take a look at it. So I'm going inside. I'm going to ask a few questions.
A tip came in. You might ask yourself, what do you mean by a tip? What's a tip? Well, just wait. Of course, it's a tip that shouldn't be going to him if it was valid. I mean,
and see what kind of answers we can hopefully get. Stay tuned. More to come.
So randomly recording people in Walmart. Okay.
And then we're down there.
That will come into play here in the minute in this story. Now, mind you, I need to reset the stage. because all of the people who claim he's doing something to help and being proactive, this was all intentional for recording. Put that into play. He is actively recording this for content as he is, quote unquote, investigating basically this tip. Okay? Tell me it's not for content.
Silver's on the scene. I'm back. As you saw earlier, take a look. I'm at the Walmart. That's right, the Walmart in Cleveland, Tennessee. Okay. And I went in just now and I had a few questions. Let me tell you what's going on and we'll go from there. So Silver's on the scene at yahoo.com. I've had tips coming in and leads, places to.
So people are emailing him. People are emailing him tips. He's had tips and leads coming in. No, sir. No. All tips should only be going to 1-800-TBI-FIND or Sumner County. That's it. That's the only place tips should be going. This is a missing child. This is a missing 15-year-old child from Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is ridiculous again.
To mainly look for Sebastian, that he might be out there, you know, as we think maybe possibly not with us anymore, and places to search. But I did have a tip come in for this Walmart here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Okay. The tip is this. There was a guy who was doing his normal.
Okay. Huge trigger warning about this upcoming. There is no validity to what he is saying as far as, yes, he might have gotten a crazy email. That's very likely. But if you are actually concerned about the well-being of a child, you would have sent that directly to law enforcement and let them handle it. That's it. And whoever is emailing tips like this to creators to get them to do this, you are going to hear some interesting things. And there is definitely some inlaid comments in this quote unquote tip that are going to stir up nothing but drama, speculation, and misinformation. That is why I am here before 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, because this needs to be talked about. This is important. This is dangerous.
Normal grocery shopping. He was in the grocery department. And as he's standing there looking for different things, he had noticed a group of teenagers. Boys and girls, with two adults. He said it looked odd. The group looked odd, but you know, that's all he noticed. And he had walked away from them, doing his shopping. And when he was 20 or so aisles down, a pretty good ways down, just looking at food.
Y'all, whoever got the gifted memberships from the channel, they are our 10 free gifted memberships for the month. So whoever got them, welcome to the cabana for the month. Thank you guys for being here and the continued support. Please, if you are a creator, if you have a community post, please say something, speak up about this. You will see in a minute how dangerous this is going to be or could potentially be.
To purchase, he was approached by one of those teenagers, and it was a teenage boy. The boy said to him basically, "Hey, it's a nice day to be shopping." And he replied with, "Yes, it's a great day to be shopping." And before they could say anything else, the adult male with the group, who was several aisles back from where this kid had come from, yells out, "Sebastian."
All right. Okay. I swear, buckle up, you guys. Hey, Michelle. Y'all, this is bad. Like, he is setting the scene. Now, could this be an email he got? Yes, absolutely. But this is,
Which at this time, the kid looks up, looks this guy right in the eyes, turns abruptly to go back to the group. And as he walks away, this guy reported this tip is saying, he says, "Seth," under his breath.
He says Seth under his breath. Meanwhile, the stage he is painted, the guy was quite a ways away from him, and then he approached, but under your breath. Really? You heard him say Seth, clearly, clear as day. You heard him say Seth. You heard him yell Sebastian. Then you hear this random guy under his breath say Seth. Well, that's not the worst of it yet.
Now, at the time, this was back in April, about 103 days ago. So a long time ago.
Oh, so again, this supposed sighting, quote unquote, person who saw this happened in April, and they've not done anything besides contact YouTubers like Dolly Vision, Silver's on the scene, you know, just waiting for somebody to run with this next rumor, right?
At the time, stating the guy giving the tip who emailed me says he did not know Sebastian was missing. He thought the whole—
Yes, law enforcement has been contacted according to what I know. So you'll hear that upcoming.
whole encounter was odd. He thought the group was odd, but that was it. Several weeks after this encounter, he sees on the news, YouTube, wherever he sees that this kid, Sebastian Rogers, is missing.
How convenient. Several weeks later, conveniently, this guy realizes that this child is missing.
And of course, he goes, wow, that is the kid who approached me in the Walmart.
If this is true, it's even more dangerous, in my opinion. If this sighting was factual, this is more dangerous to do what he is doing. Now, pay attention to some things upcoming. He's going to pause the video. He's going to cut the video. He's going to come right back to this. Tell me it's not for content.
One thing he also said that I left out is when the kid got back to the group, one of the girls in the group, teenage girls, had kind of put her arm up to him and was whispering something in his ear. And at about that time, the adult male with the group, stomps his foot and yells loud, "Proudfoot." Now, I'm just telling—
This man just said that the tipster told him that somebody stomped their foot and yelled "Proudfoot" in Walmart. Excuse me, sir, what? So we've got a yell of Sebastian in the middle of Walmart. We've got a random kid approaching this supposed tipster out of nowhere. Now we have a stomp of a foot and yelling "Proudfoot." All in Walmart in April. And this was emailed to him. And instead of even remotely attempting to do his due diligence and, if he thought it was factual, call it into law enforcement or send it over to law enforcement because they should be dealing with this, he goes out here to investigate said tip. Just wait.
telling you what's reported to me. No judgment here. No saying this is ridiculous. As we've talked about, everything needs to be checked out. So Silver's on the scene, on my way to Knoxville now, then going to make my way over to the Nashville area, as everyone knows. You've seen in the videos. So I came here, coming right through Cleveland. I contacted the guy again. There's 2 Walmarts in the town.
So he contacted the tipster again. He's been talking to the tipster. But what about law enforcement?
Told me which one he was at. He gave me more details. He's even willing to come to the store and do a reenactment. So what did I do here?
So the guy's willing to come to the store and do a reenactment of what he saw for content purposes, but couldn't pick up the phone and call 911 to report this tip. Okay.
I've never done anything like this before.
And I hope you never do anything like this again, because this is absolutely ridiculous, dangerous. It is out of control.
You never get anything unless you ask for it. You never ask, you never get. So I went into the store. I got the store manager. He then got the loss prevention or security manager. The 3 of us had a discussion. Of course, my goal was to see the footage myself.
Of course, my goal was to see the footage myself. He wanted to see the footage himself. Sir, you don't know this child. So how would you be able to necessarily identify this child? Why would you even think that you viewing this video would be a remotely good idea if this is potentially Sebastian? He still hasn't called law enforcement at this point in time. That's happening right now, Jem. He claims that he called them right before he started this video, but watch this. So he's looking down, right?
More to come.
More to
Okay,
come.
so I'm back. So
More to come is how he ends that. Gets a phone call. Okay, I'm back. Listen,
I had to take the phone call that was coming in. That
whoever that is sitting next to him, you need to smack the ever-loving shit out of this guy. And if you are co-signing what he is doing here, you're just as problematic, in my opinion. Passenger in the car.
was actually the police officer, law enforcement calling. So what happened was, and I don't know where I was exactly on.
Yes, I will ask this time. Please hit the thumbs up. Please get this in the algorithm. This needs to be seen. This is going to create chaos, guaranteed, because of that salacious Seth under breath, stomp of the foot, proud foot, screaming Sebastian, even though it was in April. This is, yeah.
The story, but I met with the store manager as well as loss prevention, I believe, manager, security manager. And of course, they won't let me see anything, but they told me to contact law enforcement, which I just did.
Which he just did. He just contacted law enforcement after Walmart suggested it. He drove all the way to Cleveland, Tennessee, from wherever he's located to go investigate and see this footage himself. The tipster said he would come and reenact this. Meanwhile, neither one of them at this point in time, until just before, contacted law enforcement. How incredibly dangerous if this was actually Sebastian.
I did before I started the video, and while I was doing this video, he actually called me. So there's been immediate response. I would say from me making contact and speaking to someone at the police department in the city of Cleveland to get in the call was less than 5 minutes. So took the full thing down. I've also given
law enforcement is taking this very seriously because there's a missing child. And people are out here playing games.
The name of the person who made the who gave the tip, who actually saw what he believes to be Sebastian. And you know, they have my information. They can call me and I'll let you know more to come if I get any updates. But you know, here's the thing. I know me especially, you know, I just feel like Sebastian's probably more than likely no longer with us. But
so once again, saying things like that encourages people. Well, it creates confusion when you're saying that there's potentially a sighting. And then you go into that, and that pushed narrative continues to diminish people paying attention and to their surroundings and keeping mindful that he is missing, because we don't know where he is. We don't know what is going on. So continuing to push this narrative that you all think he's gone and no longer with us is dangerous, because if he is, people are stopping looking for him because they think, well, he's no longer with us. No need to look for him, right? This is incredibly dangerous every way around it. You guys are doing the most. This is ridiculous. I've had it. I'm fed up with people. I'm fed up with the internet and people like this. This is LARPing to him. Meanwhile, there is a missing child.
If this is him, if he was seen and it really is him, that changes everything. And it changed it for the positive, because we want him alive and we want him to get back home to his father. So
to his father. So right there, you can see he is very one-sided. Half sour, that's a very good. I mean, why would he whisper Seth under his breath? Why would he scream Sebastian and then stomp his foot and say proud foot too? Like, none of it makes sense, really, if you think about it. But again, let's just take it on surface value, okay? Let's say that this tip had something credible in it. This is incredibly dangerous, because let's say that he was with somebody. What if he was being held against his will? What if putting this out here on the internet gave them a heads up and they moved him? What if this put him in greater danger? We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know what is going on. We don't know where Sebastian is. So to do all of this, make up this story. Do I think he got an email? Absolutely. People are freaking crazy and interjecting themselves in this case from every angle. It is becoming this ridiculous situation and it's just escalating.
So that's the update. More will come as I learn more. But yeah, Silver's on the scene from Cleveland, Tennessee at the Walmart.
Okay. What do you think about that?
I think you're full of shit, and that was extremely dangerous. Law enforcement should have been contacted right off the bat instead of contacted for content on YouTube. If you thought this was so credible that you drove there to investigate, to see the footage yourself, you should have probably contacted law enforcement first and foremost. Please, people, the only tips should be any tips should solely go to 1-800-TBI-FIND or Sumner County. That's it. There is an actual missing child. This is not a game.
That was a lot, huh? So, what has happened? You heard on the video, you saw me talking. So, I get this tip for this Walmart. The police were notified by me. We made a report.
Bear Jinx, thank you. Bears Jinx, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the cabana.
And hopefully this will go somewhere and they'll take a look at the video footage and we can, if it's Sebastian, find him. If it's not, rule this out. I wanted to also take a moment to
Thor, that's 100% valid. Can you imagine the emotional roller coaster this sends families on, the parents? That was one of my concerns last night. I couldn't sleep. This is being put out here just willy-nilly, throwing it out here like, oh yeah, let's just do this. Let's just go here. And then you have Seth in a comment section on YouTube. I mean, he's a grown adult. He can be in any comment section, but I don't know if he knew about this video. I'm wondering. I'm not sure, but he was on YouTube last night as all of this was going on.
talk about how quickly these things happen. As you see in the video, it's about a 5-minute period from me hanging up the phone with the police department to the officer calling me. About 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, law enforcement takes this very seriously. There's a missing child. Why wouldn't they call you?
Both the dispatch was great as well as the officer. He was just open to listen to everything. But I
was hoping that's what they would tell him last night, because, and at least buffer this some. This is not fair to do to the parents, Seth, Katie, or Chris. This isn't fair to do to any of the family members, and it's extremely dangerous to do under Sebastian's name.
Here's the best part. Within an hour of me getting off the phone with him, and it could have been 10 minutes, based on how quickly he called me, I'm thinking it was a few minutes later. But I received an email from the tipster. Let's call him the tipster. And he basically says this: I received a call from an officer of the Cleveland Police Department. I reported my experience to the officer. He will investigate this at Walmart.
So again, the tipster emailed Silvers and told them that he was contacted by law enforcement. What?
Thank you for relaying my info to law enforcement.
He needed Silvers to be the buffer between this person that's emailing people supposedly and law enforcement. Make that make sense. And again, this alleged sighting of this tipster was in April.
You are one of the only ones that believe in me. I feel better now that local law officials are investigating my encounter at Walmart. I read that for one reason. We have to take everything. I understand people call in and there's false reports, or people believe they see something when they don't. I went back and forth on email with this guy several times before I did what I did today.
So he has been talking to this guy for quite some time. It sounds like at least, I would say, a day, 24 hours. I'll give it that minimum. He's been emailing back and forth for 24 hours, I would bet, at this time, if not longer, with this supposed tipster. That is 24 hours wasted if this was a sighting of a missing child. Granted, yes, it was in April, but still, let's say that this factually happened. Let's say that this person saw something, it was odd, They didn't know a child was missing. They find out a child's missing later. They start replaying it. Then they recognize different things. Take it to a YouTuber. First and foremost, big no-no. Nope, don't do that. Should have gone directly to law enforcement. But so much could have happened in that 24 hours. Law enforcement should have been out there investigating. Why didn't you instantly report it if you thought this was credible and you weren't going to just use it for content? There's no explanation that's ever going to be given to me that will be acceptable on this. The moment you got that email, and whether you thought it was real or not, you're a YouTuber. We are not investigators. None of you are going to solve this case. Law enforcement is going to do that, and you are potentially putting a child in danger, extreme danger. If any of this had any validity to it, even if it doesn't, no matter which way you turn this is dangerous and unacceptable.
Notably, I kept, as you say, grilling. I kept asking him questions. The questions I would ask were to eliminate what he was telling me. Okay. From the
So he was questioning him through email.
jump, I wanted to believe him, but I started getting details from him, which he kept providing with no question. He gave me his phone number.
How would you know the details? How would you know that if they're factual or not? You're not going to send it to law enforcement. None of you should be fielding tips. Not a single one of you. I don't care if you have previous law enforcement experience. There's a reason why you're no longer law enforcement, in my opinion. And this maybe is why, because this is dangerous and LARPing.
I never spoke to him. I just kept communicating through email, but he never once backed off anything I would ask him. So after about 5 or 6 email exchanges, and I had enough information to walk into that Walmart.
5 or 6 email exchanges that should have been directed right to law enforcement. But you were trying to figure it out, right? Sniff it out, right?
To say, hey, show me this footage and I'll tell you exactly what time, day, and where in the store.
So he went in there thinking they were going to show him the footage. Again,
I felt compelled to go do that because, as he said, believe in him. I think no doubt he was approached by a child, a teenage boy. I think no doubt he saw this group. The question is the boy that approached him Sebastian?
Well, I thought his name was yelled. I thought Sebastian was screamed across the store. I thought Seth was whispered under the breath. And I thought a stomp of the foot and Proudfoot was yelled too. What about all those details? What you think about that? A little odd if you ask me. This week's starting off early. Usually we don't get these amp up and the crazy new speculation stories until about Thursday in the week. We're starting on a Monday night.
And that's what we have to find out. So let me just add to, we'll throw this up and just add to what we've seen.
So he went in and got B-roll footage to do this video. Again, tell me this isn't about content. Again, those of you who can't pull your heads out of your asses and realize how dangerous this actually is, if you are actually concerned about this missing child, this would have never even been filmed because you would have been so concerned about getting that tip to law enforcement for them to investigate. But no, this dude just went in and took B-roll footage.
You saw this in the video, but you probably didn't understand what was going on. So I want to kind of recap. This is me.
Yes, supposedly this tipster that emailed Silvers has called into Dolly previously, and a few other shows are what people are alleging. I didn't hear the calls, but that is being said by numerous people that this same tip, this same lead with some other stuff added to it has been called into other shows too. Again, they say that this supposed sighting was in April.
When I first went into the Walmart, the first thing I did is I took the email, the details of where this tipster believes he met Sebastian, and I walked the store, putting myself there. So I'll play this real quick.
So he's going to walk the scene and reenact the scene.
And I'll stop as I go. So as I don't want to re-speak what I've already spoken, but I want to show you as I speak. So This is all the grocery area. And if anybody's been in a Walmart, it's pretty much laid out the same. Back over here in this area is the meat. This guy had gotten his meat. This person had gotten his meat, and he had made his way down to, as he calls it, the lunch, the meat, the sandwich meats. Then he made his way here to the cheese. And going back, he had already seen this group way back at the like hamburger meat area. So now he's down about 20 aisles, and he comes over to where he calls these floor coolers, right? He walks out as he's exiting these, and he gets to about right here, and he stops to look. And at this point, this boy approaches him, okay? And so if you'll look here, I made a point to grab the aisle. He's at about aisle 26, A26. And then you'll hear me in the video said, and he was way down there. So at this
So look at the distance right there. I mean, come on, people.
point, way down here, this person noticed these group of teenagers and 2 adults way down here. He makes his way down to where we are, and that far, this teenage boy approached him. He did not ask for help. He did not seem worried. He did not seem scared, which did not alert the guy at all, because it's like he's not, nothing was out of the ordinary other than.
But why was it so memorable then?
He was randomly approached by a teenage boy asking, talking about how great the day was to shop or whatever. And it went on. So hope that gives you an idea of what happened. So at this point.
And by the way, the title of his video is Sebastian Rogers following up on a tip. Ellie notified report made. So again, this is taking over your Sebastian Rogers algorithm.
Here's what we have to talk about. Okay.
This was just posted last night. Let me give you a quick view. 10,000 views since last night. 10,000 views since last night. 10,000 views since last night. People are eating this shit up. Now, it's really ironic, this rant he's about to go on.
And I thought about doing a video on these 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-step process. In my opinion, it's a 3-step process. And I was going to do a separate video, but I'm going to wrap it up in this video because I think it's very important to listen to what I have to say here. So what are the 3-step process?
I'm really hopeful that that's not the case. I'm hopeful that people that actually lend their voices to doing something to help even correct the misinformation or mock the tragedy pimps, as they call them, or whatever, will rally and speak up about this, use your community posts, whatever. I'm hoping if we get the word out here enough on this one, kind of like the dog handler, that at least a lot of us will know what is going on, and there will be a little bit of combating of this misinformation and how dangerous this actually is. So I ask you guys again, if you are a creator, please do something, a short clip to highlight this. Please make a community post, something, anything. Yeah, and people did last night too. I brought it to attention, and yeah. Ugh.
Process when it comes to Sebastian Rogers or any missing person, especially our children. First of all, we have to find them. But we can't find them without keeping the awareness alive. And when I always talk about keeping the awareness alive, that is.
We can't find him without keeping the awareness alive. Sir, you're not going to find him. That's law enforcement's job. Unfortunately, none of us. People need to understand their lane and stay the fuck in it. We are not going to find this child, unfortunately, by doing shit like this. People need to stay vigilant and keep their eyes open. But these narratives that he's no longer with us is also extremely, incredibly dangerous because it stops people looking. It stops people paying attention to things. We don't know the circumstances of this disappearance. We have no evidence, no indication of anything at this point in time. So right now, it is so important to keep awareness out there about Sebastian, factual information that might potentially help bring Sebastian home. This is not awareness. This is not anything besides acting like this is a game for you people, that this is content. All of that was laid out for content. He got B-roll footage. Every bit of it was dramatized. Every bit of it was completely dangerous, because if that was actually Sebastian, you just put him, his family, in further circles of chaos. And didn't help anything, did you?
Is plastering their photo any place, anywhere you can. Share it on your Facebook, share it on your TikTok, share it on your Instagram, share it on your Twitter, share it here on YouTube like I'm doing.
Share factual information, which is very limited. Again, there could be and should be about 5 at this point. I don't know. I said 800 the other night. It's more than that. The amount of misinformation that has flowed in this case and continues to flow and continues to be used by these creators and cycled through is absolutely horrifying. And at the end of the day, it could gravely impact Sebastian's life.
Okay, so at this point, let's stop here. Let's go back to April when this incident happened. This guy had never known that Sebastian was missing. So the awareness was not there. Was his photo up in the store at that time? Possibly. There's no way of knowing.
Let me remind everybody, Sebastian went missing on February 26, 2024. A lot of these stores had his flyer up in the stores for quite some time. A lot of them have cycled through and brought other children in. That is the standard procedure for those that do have missing flyer boards. They cycle them through. That is why it's so important for people to talk about Sebastian in a factual manner to bring awareness. This is not that. This is creating and painting an entire narrative off of wild speculation theories and a potential sighting involving law enforcement months later, playing these real life games. And if you claim that you stand for the victims and the children and the families, have to do better. This is not acceptable, and everybody knows that this is not awareness, and this is not how it's done. He's not out there searching. He's out there recording for content. Don't get it twisted.
But how many people actually walk over and stand and look at that, number one? Number two, for whatever reason, 2 months, almost to the day, been missing. This guy in Cleveland, Tennessee did not know that he was missing. But what if he'd have seen?
There's a lot of people that don't know Sebastian is missing. That is common in every case. It's important and seems overwhelming to us because we are invested in this and we follow it. But to random people in our neighborhoods, communities, they don't know a lot about these missing children. That is why it's so freaking important to be factual about the information you are putting out there so people understand he is still missing. And we don't have any indication that he's no longer with us. We don't know. But that is the other narrative that BHB and crew are pushing.
Seen this video? What if he'd have seen someone else's video? What if he'd have seen someone's Facebook post? That whole incident would have gone completely different. And I wouldn't be doing this video now. I've been contacted by another missing persons case that goes back 23 years. I'm not going to name the name at this point in time, but to say this. In that particular case, about a week or so after this young girl went missing, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people encountered the little girl. 5 people. Approximately 200 miles from where she went missing. One of those 5 people encountered the little girl 3 times. Back to back, 3 days in a row. She was with an adult female, so she wasn't by herself. Been missing about a week, but each one of the 5 didn't have one thing. They did not have the awareness. They did not know this little girl was missing. But as soon as they show a photo, yes, that was her.
That happens. That does factually happen, that people see missing people all the time. And because they didn't know they were even missing, it doesn't register. This does happen. Again, exactly why it's important for factual information. Ugh.
This person in Walmart did not know Sebastian was missing. So this second part here, which is just as critical, You can't find them without the awareness. Okay. So that's why I keep saying, keep the awareness alive, keep his face out there. And every person that I see that creates content for Sebastian says this, because
you know what I also find very interesting is the very first person, from my understanding, that played a clip of this video was allegedly with Brittany J. Meanwhile, Seth is a mod in that chat. So you tell me, and this was last night, this was dropped 2 hours before I went live. Then she plays it at the opening of her live stream yesterday. The mention of Seth under the breath, and he only wants to bring Sebastian home to his father. I've got a lot of questions here that don't add up, but it seems like a very interesting, one-sided, biased awareness campaign that he has going on too, if you ask me. And it seems like it's trickling down right through the misinformation cronies, just like expected.
Once again, I've said it before, if someone sees something, say something, but you can't say something if you don't know what you're seeing. Okay. And this whole encounter with this person in Walmart.
Can you imagine Seth going into that chat not knowing this was going on and this had any credibility behind it? He is the father of a missing child at the end of the day. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine getting the hopes up of somebody? Why didn't they call into Seth's tip line? Seth and Tony's tip line. Why didn't they call into that? You tell me that this is the first person he's emailed this tip to, but once again, law enforcement wasn't contacted.
Walmart would have gone completely different. So would have the 23-year-old case where she's still missing 23 years. We don't want that for Sebastian or the next child or the next child.
Brat, right? Right?
So we must keep the awareness alive, and that's how we find them. And then once we bring them home, the third step is get justice. Get justice for them.
Remy, what do you mean by entirely different thoughts yourself?
Bring justice to those.
If you don't mind expanding, I'm interested to hear what you were thinking.
Serve justice to those who may have harmed them or done something to them. So that's what we have to do. So if it's not clear by now, it should be very clear. The reason for these videos, the reason for this, that I'm doing this, is to find Sebastian and bring him home.
Okay. No, sir, that's not what you're doing. You're doing this for content on YouTube. That's what you're doing this for. Because if this was about Sebastian and awareness for Sebastian, none of this would have happened. None of this would have came to the internet. You would have gotten that email, turned it into TBI. That was it. That would have been the end of the story, and you would have carried on bringing factual information to your audience about Sebastian so they can keep looking for Sebastian. That's what you would have done if this was about awareness. Yes, do not contact, dox, or harass anyone mentioned in this live stream. Thank you, Pika. Oh, what were you saying? I think it's a little odd that those tip lines weren't called, right? Okay, that's what I was wondering. And he called into Dolly's. Ellie wasn't yet. This rando was emailed. Give me a break. Deflection for a reason in content or just for content. Yeah, the Seth whispered, the yell of Sebastian and the stomp of the foot and yelling Proudfoot again. Sebastian's last name is Rogers. People have been mentioning that in the chat. Make it make sense. And this person who has a channel that's like 3,000, I think, max, was emailed this tip.
Okay. We have to keep his face out there. So I said at the start of this video, Cleveland Walmart today, at least, they were unaware of Sebastian Rogers. When I said his name, they were unaware. That doesn't mean he wasn't up on their wall at one point, but as of today, 161 days later, they did not know of Sebastian Rogers. No one. I started asking by saying, has anyone come here, law enforcement or anyone else, talking about security footage for a possible sighting in April? And the answer was no. Why the tipster didn't do this on his own, you can ask it. You can ask a million questions why. It doesn't matter. He contacted someone.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Because this isn't content. This is a missing child. It does matter. It should have been directly sent to law enforcement and no further. Y'all are playing with a child's life, a missing child who you claim you want to be brought home. while acting like you're playing a fucking video game, LARPing all over. Absolutely disgusting.
Someone who did get in there, and we did it. We've made contact with law enforcement. I'm hoping to receive a call in the next coming days, hopefully that they can rule this out or they can move forward with it. Now, the last piece I'll say is this. As people know, I do not live in Cleveland, Tennessee. But if you do live in Cleveland, Tennessee, if you're...
So again, he's reminding you that he drove to Cleveland, Tennessee. He had to actively drive to Cleveland, Tennessee to go investigate this because he wanted to see the videos himself. He thought he was entitled to see the videos himself, even though he doesn't know Sebastian, never seen Sebastian. I don't know how he's going to be the one to identify Sebastian. You know, again, law enforcement's job. No YouTubers should be vetting or clearing or taking tips on a missing child. Period. End of story. I don't give a fuck your excuse. I don't give a shit anymore. You people are ridiculous.
You're coming through Cleveland, Tennessee.
Tia, thank you for
this Walmart is located at 4495 Northeast Keith Street. Let's do that again. 4495 Northeast Keith Street. I looked at the day this happened.
This is the creator by the name of Silver's on the Scene. Silver's on the Scene. This isn't his first attempt at being extremely ridiculous, but this is the worst thus far because this potentially, like I said, could put a child in danger. He needs to stop. I'll show you and remind you guys a little bit more of some of the things he's done in a moment.
It was a Wednesday, middle of the week. Based on what was being purchased, was like a normal family out purchasing food for them. I don't want to.
So that the run-in he didn't feel, nothing really out of ordinary about it, but it was so memorable that he knows exactly what they were shopping for. He knows where they were located, what aisles they were located in, but it didn't really seem out of the ordinary, right? However, they screamed Sebastian across the store, said Seth under the breath, and stomp of a foot and said proud foot. What you guys up to over there? I want to know because it's looking a little fishy if you ask me.
Keep any expectations up or get any hopes up more than they are, but he could be there. He could be there if this is him. So the next time I come through Cleveland, the next time I'm near Cleveland.
Jen-Lu, because there's two of them in Cleveland, I guess. I don't know what he's doing with this shit. He's playing a game.
I'm going in and I'm walking the store. Who knows? Maybe the next time he's seen by whomever, if it is him.
I take you back to a reminder of Betty's most recent video stalking Chris and Katie, in my opinion. Well, Chris especially. The RV park at Horn Rapids or Horn Lake RV Park or whatever it's called. That very similar. And I'm going to show you some comparison right quick.
Allegedly. Then we'll bring him home. Have a great evening. See you soon. Stay tuned. Silver's on the Scene. There's always more to come. Thank you.
Always more bullshit right around the corner. Just lurking in the wings. All right. Now I'm going to go back over here. Give me 1 second. I am so sick of people like this. Yeah, somebody said I sound defeated today. I am. I do. I'm done with this shit. This is dangerous. This is out of control. This is every bit about it. So he started his channel. He actually had a lot more videos up. Let me share this tab instead. Okay, so he started his channel driving by Sebastian Rogers' home. Going by the home over and over again. That's how he started his channel. Here is Horn Lake.
Good.
When he went there, I mean, this has been what he's been doing for quite some time. So I'm going to show you a quick reminder. He's been doing this for over a month now. But I'm going to show you what a real life.
Silver's on the scene. Silver's on the scene. And I am currently in Memphis. And I'm headed to Hendersonville. That 3-hour
So he's been out there, taking footage, going through all this stuff. But I want to remind you of how much of a game this guy thinks he's playing between sniffing the air when he's looking at a house across the street from the RV park that can be seen very openly from this main road that has a lot of traffic on it, same place Betty was. Then he's going to go on to do this. Give me 1 second. Let's get to the spot. This is how serious he takes this.
Speedway and this Loves and these others that are around. More to come. Coming across the Tennessee River, hard to see going across it like this, but I'm just thinking, Silver's on the scene. Coming across this river, there's cars, you see them, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, maybe you just pull over and bloop, drop off a body.
Bloop, drop off a body. This guy thinks this is a game. This guy really thinks this is a game. He's just out here, bloop, driving down the road thinking.
4, 5 in the morning, maybe you just pull over and bloop, drop off a body.
So that wasn't bad enough. So he's just had to amp it up over and over and over again as time has gone on to get clicks and views. And he is getting them. Let me tell you, he is definitely getting them. People are eating this content up and loving every minute of it. He is also the one that took the psychic's little drawing and went and found the scene and then bought himself a shovel. We reviewed that the other day. Let me give you a reminder of what Betty is doing and tell me that it's not very similar. Hold on just one moment. Go over here. We reviewed this the other day too. People have lost their ever loving minds. Let me fast forward through this crap. Okay. Oh, y'all. It's only Tuesday. It's only fucking Tuesday, people. Only Tuesday.
In Florida. Right.
Hold on.
I'm going to have to break the news at some point that I'm not in Florida. Right now, I'm in Mississippi and following a few leads out here. And I decided I was ready to come by and take a look at the Yogi Bear campground and decide whether Chris is here, whether he's been lying to us about his job, whether he even has a job at St. Jude's, and whether his camper is here.
Which is none of your business. None of that is your business. He is the stepfather of a missing child. None of that matters. None of that matters. If he is working, if he's not, none of that matters. Truly, you all continue to think that you are going to break this case wide open and you're doing all this stuff. And by the way, yes, I've seen the screenshots of Seth and Tony coming out and supporting this being done. So Seth is co-signing, condoning that she is, in my opinion, stalking and harassing the mother of his child and her husband. Why? How are you okay with that?
Now,
and anybody that gets mad about me mentioning Seth, I'm sorry. It is what it is. But this is dangerous. And you're going to co-sign this stuff and continue to be okay with the harassment that the mother of your child, your missing child, is receiving. And you support that fully. You support that, condone that, and are encouraging that. And you hear these creators saying, we want to bring Sebastian home to his father. Tell me it's not all connected and they're not all doing the same thing. She's going to go right to the same spot that Silvers was at in many of his videos. Interesting. She's checking out hardware stores. He ends up at a Walmart. Shocker.
I'm unsure about a lot, but I'm 4 minutes away from where he's allegedly camping at. So,
and trust me, if this wasn't just me wanting to get this out here so people would review it, I would have a lot of shit to talk because I got a lot of shit to say to some of the chaos going around this stuff. All of this is so dangerous. And there is a child missing. A child. That's the main part. And they don't give a shit. People, yeah.
So here you see, there's the Yogi Bear campground. And I'm on foot right now. I parked at a local store, which I'm a patron of. Thought we would come here because we haven't heard hide nor hair from Katie or Chris. And naturally, I want to walk on easements. There's no sidewalks here, so all you can do, well, there's sidewalk over there.
Why do you all think that you need to hear from Katie and Chris? When they come out here and speak, they're doing too much. They're creating intentional distractions. They're doing this and that. They're not looking for their son. If they come to YouTube for awareness, then, oh Lord, they've created all of this chaos and confusion. It's all them. Then they remain silent, don't talk to people, don't come on YouTube. And then we haven't seen them anywhere. They're up to no good. Can you make up what you want and just throw it out here? Because that's all you guys seem to do. She even went as far as creating a missing persons flyer. That was done back in June, before she even stepped on the ground in Tennessee. She had a missing flyer for Katie. Showed that the other night.
Which I'll probably cross the road and walk on the legitimate sidewalk.
And this is the exact same place that Silvers has been hanging out. Exact same place that Silvers on the scene has been hanging out. So conveniently, here's BHP doing the exact same thing. You tell me that this isn't all connected and these people aren't all doing the same thing. And again, I remind you, Seth Rogers, why are you condoning this? Why are you okay with this? Your child is missing. I understand the desperation that you feel to bring your child home. I don't understand it in that capacity. But I get that there's an urgency. And you're probably willing to overlook a lot of shit. But this is unacceptable and could put your child in grave danger. And it would be really interesting to me to know your feelings on your name being whispered under the breath in that. Her press pass is fake. She printed it off herself. Anybody can print a press pass off and be whoever you want. You can be anybody you want on these YouTube streets. We see it every fucking day. Every day, all day long.
But there you go. The problem is where.
And you guys are right. He condones it because he doesn't like his ex. But I would think you would love your son more than you would hate your ex. That's my opinion on that. So I guess for me, it's if you love your child, I would hope that the love of your child would trump the hate of your ex. Because she helped you bring him into this world. I mean, that's common sense thinking, though, right? And this isn't a game either.
He was stationed before. He has a Montana. And I don't see the Montana.
By the way, somebody asked me about when I mentioned that Spanky had been trying to compare two campers and potentially put it out there into the universe that there was two different campers and they had done some switch. I'll pull that for you guys to see because many of you missed it. There is so much going on out here. It's impossible to keep up. And how do we combat this misinformation that is dangerous to these cases? It's not just Sebastian. It's wash, rinse, repeat. It's going to be the next missing child that they can get into the salacious movements too. There are so many missing children that do factually need awareness brought to their cases. But all you see is this same old LARPing bullshit.
Here. I thought I saw him creeping and parking next to.
Tell me it's not the same. Hold on. I'm going to show you a video. Hold on. Let me go right back here. I mean, he's driving, so a little bit different that way, but same thing, same difference. Same camper.
Googled and found out that I was curious about CP and has he always been at the Yogi Bear Park? And was he at that park that night? Sebastian went missing, or did he move? I believe I saw somewhere that when he came home that day on the 26th that he was missing, that he came back over here to Horn Lake, Mississippi to move his RV. So maybe he was here at the Easy Days.
So he is in the location trying to find Chris's camper, and you'll notice he gives the same narratives and excuses for why they are looking in those areas. 17-hour trip. all of the same narrative that BHP is pushing. Go look for yourself. Tell me I'm wrong.
And moved over to Yogi Bear. Now take a look at this. I've got it mapped, and it's only
One-way street. You don't ever have to apologize, because trust and believe, if I actually said what I think right now, I would get banned off this app. Truly, I am angry.
like 2 miles apart. So I'm going to do the.
And I'm also kind of angry at the people that are spending so much time creating drama and chaos instead of doing shit like this and bringing attention to the dangers that these people are causing in this case. I'm a little salty and angry about that too. Continue to focus on me, continue to watch me, clip me. I'll continue to highlight the misinformation and the harm that they're doing. We're not the same. Okay? Back to this.
Drive. We're going to do the drive over to Yogi Bear from here and just see.
Oh, you don't
So
have
if,
to
you know, was CP
one-way street, that won't happen. Trust and believe. I appreciate you saying that, but that won't happen. Please speak your mind freely. This is dangerous. More people need to speak up. More people need to be calling this out. If we actually stand for what we claim we stand for, this should be top priority of how dangerous this is. This is not a game. Law enforcement should have been contacted solely and left alone. Whoever is emailing, if these are fake, intentional, what sounds like, in my opinion, at this point in time, because same person allegedly, potentially called into Dolly's, or could it be a caller called into Dolly's and somebody then formed it in an email? It could be multiple people doing shit. That is why it's important to send that to law enforcement and let them do their work, because whoever is messing in a child's case, an active missing child case, should be charged. That is my opinion, and I stand firmly on that shit. They all should be brought in and charged for interfering with an active investigation. That is my thoughts, and they won't change.
was the CPRV here at this park? And if so, why did he move it? Especially if he moved it.
A one-way street. I don't even know what's going on over there. I watch these guys. This is what I spend my day doing, is watching these guys and finding the most, in my opinion, dangerous stuff that is going on. So I catch a few here and there for a little bit. I'll pop into streams, but otherwise, this is what I do. I watch these guys because this is what is interfering with the active investigation, and it's crazy. So I don't even know what's going on over there, nor do I need to. This is what my priority is.
Just after the day of Sebastian going missing. So let's take this little drive. It's not that far of a drive. It's a couple of miles. Of course, you got a lot of homes around here.
Well, he's out here just recording whatever. You guys get the point. I think everybody sees it. I'm going to leave it short and sweet because I want people. Oh, thank you, Winry. Yeah, see, I don't even know what's going on anywhere. Sorry. I'm not trying to sound snarky. I'm tired. I'm tired. I feel defeated. Because at the end of the day, I can shut this off. This family cannot. I feel this way, and I can shut this off. I can go lay my head on the pillow and say, my kids are tucked into bed. There is a family with a child missing right now that can't do those things, that continue to have their lives played with for content and clicks and views. And now we're upping it a notch and doing really extremely dangerous shit. This is not a game. This is a missing child. This is not acceptable. This will never be acceptable. I think this video will be retitled with missing or correcting misinformation, and I am going to copy his title exactly. There will be a separation, but it will start with missing or correcting misinformation and then repeating his title exactly. I'm going to try that. We talked about it last night. I looked into it a little bit last night. I want to see if it does anything to get side by side with this, because this is absolutely out of control and unnecessary and dangerous. And they are encouraging more people to do this type of behavior. That is what the scary thing is. Yeah, you heard a Diet Coke. I need a soda, Nicole. It is absolutely, I couldn't even sleep last night on one-way street. For me to come on at midnight, you know there's something major going on. And now we have crime lines and bullshittery going back and covering this case again too. Yeah, we don't need any of this shit. This has gotten too far. This is dangerous. Absolutely. So I'm telling you guys right up front, I will be retitling this, and it will have his name because it's going to be an exact duplicate of what the title of his video is. I am trying it to see if it works. It will start with correcting misinformation, and it will be a duplicate of his title. If you don't like it, feel free to move on as you want. Feel free to do what you want. But are we doing any good when we can't even get our videos side by side so they can see that this is bullshit and what they're doing is harmful? Not really. I tried the whole only 3 hashtags this time today to try that. I'm willing to try anything to help get the word out that this is not okay. I will do anything to try and continue to correct this misinformation and this dangerous game that they're playing. Rabbit spoke on this yesterday too. And by those, to the 2 of you in the bushes that are still obviously watching, going to Rabbit, who is another channel that does other things. She's not my mommy, first of all. I'm older than her, for those of you in the back. She has no say or anything I do, and she never tried to control me or do anything like that. Rabbit's cool. Rabbit does what Rabbit does. But to take your grievances, you both got blocked over here on other things because one of you runs from chat to chat promoting the wildest shit and sitting by and condoning what Seth has said and done because he's the parent of a missing child. No, both things can be true. We can have empathy for the parent of a missing child, but I'm not going to overlook and give a pass for the dangerous misinformation that he has also been a part of causing in his child's case. Sorry, it's not going to happen for me. If you expect that, go to a sugarcoating channel. It won't happen. But to take that shit over there and try to get her to interfere, you're blocked for a reason because of that shit. If my mods or I decide to block you, there's a reason for it. Don't go run to some other creator. And then when you're asked, hey, what happened? I'll text her right now. Silence. Silence happens. Y'all doing too much. Y'all too worried about your hate and dislike of me. There's plenty of other channels. You ain't sad. You're still here. You can still watch. You just can't partake because I don't want people like you in my comment section who think it's acceptable to pass off misinformation. Sorry, we're not the same. Go sit somewhere else. I will continue to run my channel the way I want. If you continue to tattle, I mean, it's just a you thing. It's a good laugh for me, especially listening to Rabbit. She's like, go email her. Go do something. Stop the bullshit, everybody. If you really say you stand for a missing child, you want awareness for missing children, you want the misinformation and the dangerous bullshit to stop, then do your part. Use your voice. Speak up. Stop playing games and tattling on all of us who are actually doing something. With that, I hope you guys all have a great day. I warned you already. If you have an issue with what I'm going to do for the title of this video, I warned you up front. Do as with that as you please. We are going to try anything and everything to continue to Thor. That's again, continue on. I'll continue to do my thing. I don't even pay attention to that shit. Not worth my attention or my time. There is so much misinformation and dangerous information being pushed out here that's more important to me than drama with YouTube creators. I'm sorry. They will never correlate or compare to me. That's not how I work. So, anywho, hope you guys all have a great day. Oh, that's a good question right there. Is there? I don't know. I keep looking for things. And even with YouTube's terms of service, misinformation is against terms of service. But I don't know at what point they actually kick that in. Sorry, Dexter is really making some noise this morning. I don't know at what point that actually anything comes of that, truthfully. Missing minors, that's another thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a solution as far as how do we get this to slow. This is why we talk about change has to come. There has to be laws to change something. There has to be, yeah, there's got to be. I agree with you, SS. I wish there was somebody that really knew. That's the same thing. I wish we had somebody that really understood the hashtags and the titles and how to do that section too, like somebody that was actually professional, not just another YouTube. Because if you ask any of the YouTubers, everybody has a differing view and everybody has a differing whatever on it. I wish we had somebody that could factually state, this is what you do, this is how you take care of this is what we need to do. But we don't. So, yes. But sadly, Revival, she might, okay, so even people like Mr. E's True Crime Cast or whatever that shit is, who is another local who has been driving by and doing all this stuff, who is aligned with BHB. I'll show you guys that later this week. But even they are like defending this BHB stuff. Well, it could be this, could be that, like making excuses for it. There's no excuse for this. There is no excuse. If you have extensive knowledge on how the algorithm works and how to address this dangerous misinformation, please reach out. I would love to be able to talk to somebody that actually knows, not just another YouTube creator that, like me, who just picks and chooses off of what we read. I would really like foundational information of how to address this, because I'm with SS PsyOps. Something needs to be done. We've got to take the next step, but where is that next step and how do we go about it? And again, one quick reminder before I completely wrap up for the day. Please share this out. Well, not my video. You can go do your own. Put it on your community tabs. Talk about it. Get your favorite creators to mention this. This is extremely dangerous and we have to start combating this in some way, shape, or form. And the only way I know how to do that for my part is to use my channel to speak up, say enough is enough, highlight this, and move on. We have Spanky, Slimy, BHB, Mr. E's True Crime up on the schedule to try and get through for the rest of the week. That is where we are headed. But this will be the foundation of so much more misinformation you guys see over the next few days, because again, it hasn't even been up for 24 hours and creators who have Seth as mod have been reviewing it already. Think about it, people. It's too much. Have a great day. Susie, I have searched that some, but it's still like, I'm still not, yeah, I'm not good on that shit. So I have looked into that. I actually have my friend Janice in accounting has looked into it quite extensively, and we've learned some stuff, but not enough to, yeah, I know, not enough. And people yesterday, I listened to a lot of different people talking about how important the titles and the hashtags really are. I've just never even thought about it. So I'm going to try this today and see if that helps at all. It's going to be correcting misinformation in a complete mirror of his title. So please understand that that's what I'm doing. If you're offended by that, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I don't like using his name either. But the only way to get them side by side is to kind of make them side by side, in my opinion, too. So we're going to try it and see. If you have any other suggestions and want me to try something else, please reach out to me and email. I am open for all suggestions, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this because these are people's lives that people are playing with. Have a great day.